From your perspective, why do you think parents say because I said so?
I feel like it could either mean that they know that what they're saying isn't right, so they just say that.
If they're telling you to do something and they say because I said so, why would they tell you to do something wrong?
All I know is sometimes parents don't know like how to like deal with situations other than how they were treated when they were kids. And it can be where their parents told them because they said so. And it's like, oh, that's all I know, so I'm going to just treat my kid like this. Hi, I'm Nay. Welcome to Nay's Space, a place where you can have real conversation.
Yeah.
And this is like, I guess, one of my first real videos. I've tried before, but I never really posted it because I was a little nervous. And yeah, so this is my podcast. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, I'm here with my dad.
Hey.
And yeah, I don't even know what to say. I'm very excited though. Very excited to try something new and get to a new chapter. I'm like, cause yeah. But as some people know, this man is a podcaster, a good one too. So I guess I'm going to be asked questions and I'm answering truthfully, honestly. So
honestly, you ready? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So my question is,
Okay.
what do you think about the term? Okay, before I ask you,
Okay.
this is something that parents say.
Ooh, okay, I'm ready.
To their children. Okay?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay. What do you think about the term because I said so?
Oh my God. Oh, this term, I don't like it. Me personally, I don't, because it's like, I was just talking about this. Oh my God. Okay, so it's like, I was talking about this. Say you as a child, or like, say you as a child have like your parents are like splitting up or something and they get into a big argument.
Mm-hmm.
And one parent is telling you to do something and the other parent is telling you to do something else. And they're both trying to make you choose because they said so, not they would better you. And that's how I feel, because I'm thinking about this. I'm like, dang, it's like how you feel should matter. And I feel like there should be a say so, because even though they are your child, they're still a human. And I feel like parents forget that they've been a child before and forget how it felt for them, you know? Because it's like, I think about it and I'm like, even when I go places like with my other friends and they hear the way their parents talk to them, I'll be like, dang. Because it's like my parents, even if they said something to me, they would try to explain it to where I understand. So if it's something that happens again, it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Yes. But it's like, I feel like when they say like, because I said so, it's like, dang.
Yes.
And then they'll be like, if you say because, that's talking back or disrespect. And it's like, I just want to understand. Genuinely, I want to understand.
I think for some parents, it's offensive. And I think for other parents, they don't have a real reason, or they feel like because they are the parent, that they have the right to use that term. You're the child. I'm the parent. This is what I say. So this is what you got to do. Y'all, Jameer is back there. That's all. Don't worry.
Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's another thing.
What?
That makes your child scared to talk to you.
Explain.
I remember being in that position when I was just younger. Because it's like, it just makes you scared to talk to your parents. Because it's like, if something happens and like, say like I got hurt or like touched in the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like or if they say be quiet or stop talking, and it's like, but I'm trying to tell you. And then they be like, why don't you talk to me? You this, you that. You don't talk to me. I want you to talk to me. And then the second you try to, they don't listen.
So are you saying that parents want you to communicate on their terms?
Yes.
Like, for example, hey, because I said so, don't talk back to me. Anything you say is disrespect. But now I see that something is wrong. Why aren't you talking to me?
Right.
And the thing about it is, for all parents, a relationship is reciprocal 24/7. And like Nay said, it is a situation where we like to choose when it's convenient to have a relationship with our children. We choose the times that's not offensive. We choose the times that don't rub us the wrong way. And I know for me personally, I've made that mistake with you when I wasn't ready to face something. And because you're my child, it's easier to throw my weight around than to deal with my truth.
Right.
But that is misusing the authority of being a parent.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
That's very true. Yeah. And another thing, it's like that also can show like how your kid acts in school.
Explain what you mean.
I mean, like, it's like if your child acts a certain way, like say they act up or something, and even not even acting up, it seems like, say like a teacher, they like see a teacher as their mom, and it's like they call the teacher mom, like they have a real close bond with the teacher.
Yes.
And like say a parent, because I've seen this happen. One of my friends had a very, very close bond with a teacher, and it was like that was their parent, like it was like that was their school parent.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like the teachers sometimes it's like a home away from home. Wow. Cause it's like when I go home, I have a parent who it seems like they just don't care, or just don't care. And then you go to school, and this person who's not even related to me, like it's like you don't even know why they're treating you the way they treat you, and it's like I wish my parents were like this at home.
From your perspective, why do you think parents only say? Why do you think parents say because I said so?
Either they know it's not right, and I feel like it could either mean that they know that what they're saying isn't right, so they just say that as a
So why, hold
response.
on. If they're telling you to do something and they say because I said so, why would they tell you to do something wrong?
I don't know.
Because you said, go ahead.
All I know is sometimes parents don't know like how to like deal with situations other than how they were treated when they were kids. And it can be where their parents told them because they said so. And it's like, oh, that's all I know, so I'm going to just treat my kid like this. That's how it could be. That's how it can be sometimes.
Listen, because at the end of the day, unless we desire different or are taught different or want better, we just repeat what we've seen.
Right.
Which is one reason why I try to be very, very intentional when it comes to you. Because I know you're going to do what you see. And one day you're going to build a life for yourself. You're going to have a family. And I don't want to do you a disservice and then be frustrated with how you turn out. Because it is easy for me to display toxic behavior and then be embarrassed and annoyed when you turn out to be an adult who acts the same way.
All right.
Roger is the way you say it.
And I get to work
And I called my sister and I said, well, I can't reach Terrence. And she said, well, you need to call the police. I said, well, I don't want to call the police. I just can't. He's just not answering. She said, well, I'm going to call him. And if he doesn't answer, I'm going to call the police. So she never called me back. She sent me a text. And the text said, breaking news, an unidentified African-American male has been found dead in a hit and run. And that was it. And it just said breaking news.
If you enjoyed this clip and would like to enjoy more, search the RXS podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, or watch the RXS podcast on RXS Entertainment YouTube channel. My next question. Mm-hmm. Do you and your friends ever talk about feeling ignored by your parents?
Not really. Not really my new friends.
Okay.
But my old friends.
Yes, you did.
Because even not me, but most of my friends, like most of the friends in that friend group except for me and
don't say no names, yeah.
And one other person, of course. Me and one other person, parents were still married. Everybody else's parents were not married. And when it came down to that, even like with her parents were like just, it was messed up all around. Mm-hmm. So it was like just venting and venting and venting and venting. And even with that, there was even a thing where like the friend that everybody vented to didn't even have good mental health for herself either. So it's like,
how did y'all know she didn't or he didn't? I don't know if it's a he or she. How did you know that they didn't have?
Because like even with that, when me and that person were very close, we talked. Mm-hmm. So it's like she like everybody vented to her, but she vented to me, and she was like, I can't. It's too much. Even like for herself, because she had a lot going on for herself, and then also was trying to help everybody else, but couldn't help herself.
Yes.
Like that's just a lot to handle at one time. So it's like, dang.
So based on your experience talking to your friends, mm-hmm. how does divorce talk about it?
How does divorce affect the children?
Yes.
It can affect them bad. It can traumatize them even with love. It can make them not want to date people. Wow. It can, like, even, I know, like, for one, it can just, like, mess you up.
Yeah.
Because I know if that would happen to me, that would mess me up.
Yeah.
Because even with, like, a small encounter, that messed me up for years. So if it actually happened, I would be hurt.
Okay, so you said, so a small encounter between me and your mom?
Yes.
Something happened that messed you up for years?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about because multiple things have happened. Let me be clear. So I don't know which thing you're talking about, but I do want to say to parents that it is important that we are mindful of how we handle disagreements. We have to be careful what we bring to our doorsteps. We have to be careful who we interact with and how we interact, because if we are not on our A game, even though your children are small,
they're not stupid.
They're not stupid. And my daughter and I had a rough patch because she experienced something because of me that really messed her up. And one day we'll end up talking about it. I don't know when, but one day we're going to actually talk about that thing. But it kind of messed her up. And the truth be told, when I made the decisions that I made, I wasn't thinking about her. And that's the thing. That's the mistake that we make, where not only do our children feel ignored, but truth be told, y'all, sometimes it's not just a feeling. It's a reality of us ignoring our children that makes them feel exactly what we're doing. Mm. What do you say to that?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, it's real life.
It's real. It's real. And
And how did when you when you went through that period where you felt like you were just out of place when that thing happened? What were some things that were going through your mind?
what do you mean? Like, what? Which one?
When the thing happened that you're talking about, that you said messed you up, what was going on in your mind at the time?
It was like, it wasn't even the fact that I felt like my parents weren't going to be together anymore. It was just like the thought of, say, seeing my parents with other people. Because, like, in my mind, I only see them and them only. And probably having somebody else in my life would be weird. Because it's like you're not my parent. I don't know you. And it's like, I don't know. It's just weird. And it took a long time for me to be able to, like, actually move on from that. So,
And the thing about it is, I remember being confused and frustrated because I had that same experience where I was like, I don't understand why she won't talk to me. Or I don't understand why we're not close. But then I had to come to the realization that I put you in a very uncomfortable situation. And the truth of the matter is, y'all, parents, I'm talking to parents. Yes, these are our children. Yes, it is our responsibility to instruct them, but we are not masters. They are not slaves. They are not robots. They are young little humans with emotions, feelings, thoughts, feelings. And I think we can build a better generation if we see our children as people.
yes, and not just something you own. Because that's like,
So do you feel like some parents treat their children like property?
yes.
Give me some examples of being treated like property.
The only time your parent actually shows you any type of attention is when they ask you to do something or they need something done for them. Like, say like they don't talk to you at all, they don't check on you mentally, physically at all until it's like, oh, I need this, go get that for me. And it's like, it's not like, talk to me, no thank you, just get it and go.
So then what happens is when a parent does that, the child, because they have no connection to their parent, they may do the thing with the chip on their shoulder. And then the first thing the parent want to do is say, you being disrespectful. But it's like, they're not intentionally being disrespectful. Their intent is not to be disrespectful. Imagine you being a person where somebody didn't care nothing about you until it was time for you to do something for them. How would you feel about them? What would your energy be every time they ask you to do something? Now, imagine the fact that you do that to your child. Now, look at how they respond to you. Is it disrespect or is it distance and resentment because you don't have a relationship with them? And that is the same way that we as parents want our children to respect us. We should respect them. Being a parent is not a good excuse to disrespect your children and then turn around and try to mind manipulate them into, like, forcing them into respecting you. That's not fair. And you'll never have a child that's truly able to show you love and affection and respect because it's not reciprocated.
And it's just, even with that, that's why kids be running away as soon as they turn 17, 18, be ready to leave. It's crazy. And even with another thing that has to do with kids, like just children, like comparing your child to another child, you can't do that. Even when it's like your other child being like, oh yeah, I'm just using random names. I don't know. oh yeah, Madison, she need to start acting more like Jasmine. She bad, she all this. Jasmine get good grades. Why can't you be like her? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Jasmine got a degree. Jasmine got this. Your grades bad. You ain't got this. You ain't got that. Be like her. It's like,
But I'm not her.
I'm not her.
How do you think that makes kids feel?
It's like, do you want me to, like, it's like you don't see me for me. You see me for, like, just, you don't care. It's like, Jasmine, obviously, I'm just using the name. Like, your child, that's obviously your favorite child, but it's like, you put into her, can you at least see what I like or try? It's like, I don't get it.
That is a good point. Because as a parent, it is easy to do. It is easy for a parent to do more for a child who's doing what we want them to do. And that's another treating children like you own them, or I forgot what term you used. But yeah, like, let's say, for instance, you sing and you do all this stuff in music, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say you didn't.
Right.
And let's say Jameer did, right? Mm-hmm. Even if you wanted to be a real estate agent, I should support that and be like, yo, let's go. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't treat you less than because you didn't choose to do music. Mm-hmm. Just because that's something I'm passionate about. Yes, I may connect with Jameer because he likes to do something I like to do, but that shouldn't matter when it comes to love and respect and affection. It's like, this my daughter. We do music. She don't. That's my girl. I help her where I can and I encourage her, and we talk every day. She tell me what's going on, this, that, and the third, and that's a vibe. But when you compare one child to another one of your children or another child, when you compare, it's discouraging because you're telling your child who you are isn't good enough.
Especially when your child is trying as hard as they can.
Yes.
That's like, it's like.
Do you think sometimes parents can't see how hard their child is trying?
They think because the other child is able to do what they're doing with ease and get higher, they be like, you're not trying hard enough just because the other child is able to do that.
So something being easy to another child would make a parent say, you're not trying hard enough.
Yes.
But it's like, that's natural for them. Mm-hmm. It's not natural for me. And if you learned who I was, you would see that we're not the same.
Right.
You would see that there's something else that I do that's easy to me. Like, grades are easy for Jasmine, but you don't take time out to know me.
Right.
That's really good.
Right.
What up, y'all? I'm Rajay, and I want to say first, thank y'all for the support, thank y'all for the love, and thank y'all for watching and listening to this podcast. We really don't take it for granted. Hey, if y'all want to continue to support us by spending y'all money, I got a way for y'all to do that. Y'all go to rajxshaw.com and pick up that Make It Happen hoodie today. Life be crazy, but we still got to do what? Make it happen. Gang.
And another thing, like, say if like your child makes mistakes and you're like, what's wrong with you? That is like, that I remember that being said to me, and it's like what's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? It's like it feels like you can't make mistakes, and if you make mistakes, something is wrong with you.
Wow. When adults make mistakes every day, all day.
Right. The same mistakes at that.
Yes. And I think as parents, we want what's best for our children, but we don't communicate in a realistic way. Like, hey, work on this or do that better, or it, you know what I'm saying? Like having a conversation, us having a conversation about life and about whatever career choices, lifestyle choices. It's better to have conversations and be transparent as a parent to say, hey, I failed here. And the reason why I want you to really get this together, or the reason why I want you to really focus on this, is because I didn't focus on it. And because I didn't focus on it, this is what happened. And I think if I were to tell you that, it will make you say, oh, no, I don't want that to happen to me.
Right.
Versus saying, what's wrong with you? Because when you ask your child what's wrong with you, you're saying to them that something is wrong with
Right.
them. So again, you're saying you're not good enough.
Right.
Who you are is not good enough. That's what they hear. So if they were going to try harder, they don't want to.
Right.
They don't want to ever succeed at something you want them to do, simply because they don't feel like you love them. They feel like you're only going to love them if they do exactly what you want them to do the way you want them to do it.
Yes. It's crazy because it's like you reading my mind. It's like you reading my mind.
And then when children are depressed and when children don't want to talk to their parents, the parents' feelings hurt. But it's like, how can I trust you?
Right.
How can I trust you if you don't care about me? Well, I do care and I do love you. Well, if you care and you love me, why don't you show it? Why don't we have conversations? Why don't you put forth the effort to reassure me that you care about who I am and not just what you want me to do?
And then another thing that parents tend to do is like when you tell them stuff and like when y'all get in an argument or something, you use all of that in the argument. And it's like, what? Like, say I was to say that I had depression or something like that. And then like I got into an argument with my dad or something. And he was like, that's why you depressed now. You da-da-da-da-da. Just saying all of that. And it's like, I can't trust you no more. For you to just use all of that to me, like, towards me, is crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, that's weird.
Yes.
Because even if they, like, under the influence of something, that's just like, that also shows that's how you actually feel. What people don't understand is when you are under the influence of something, they'll be like, oh, I was just young. That's how you actually felt.
So you're saying if the parent, like say for instance, the parent has been out drinking or the parent has been out doing whatever. That's what you're saying. And then they come in and
Just
go off on people. And then the next day they kind of like, that wasn't me type. And you're saying, no, that's how you really felt.
Yes.
And you were under the influence and that made you express how you truly feel.
like when you are like nothing, like clean, good, you can hold what you say, like you can keep that all in. But as soon as you say everything and don't care.
Whoa.
And it's like that's how you actually felt. And it's like, nah.
And I really don't think, I'll say for me, building a relationship with you has shown me that parents don't really see their kids. Like at all. They see them in their room. They see their physical person, but they don't see them.
Right.
And it's tough because your children end up responding to that and they learn how to cope with that neglect. Because that's what's happening when you don't pay attention to your child, when you don't see them, when you don't care for their emotional and mental state. They have to learn how to cope with parental neglect. And as they get older, it shows.
Yeah.
How they handle friendships, how they handle relationships, how they handle business. that neglect shows. And so I want to encourage all parents after watching this, like, because I said so, I get it, but I just want to challenge parents to explain why they ask something of their child or your child. I'll speak directly to the parents. I want to encourage and challenge all parents to explain why you are asking your child to do a thing. I know we're used to saying we don't owe our child an explanation, but if we want our child to have comprehension behind the instruction, and if we want our children to take in our instruction and make it a part of their lifestyle, it only makes sense for them to understand why. Because we don't do stuff without purpose. We don't do stuff without cause. So if they are little humans, don't you think it's confusing to just say because I said so? And it's like, if you want to build children that are emotionally and mentally strong, and you want them to be able to follow your instruction in a way where it becomes a lifestyle, I don't think it would hurt to explain why you're asking them to be or do a certain thing.
Right.
How you feel about that?
That's right. And I was gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, again, arguing in front of your children. That's another thing. Because if you argue in front of your kids, again, your kids may be young, but not dumb. Because I could act like I'm watching YouTube, act like I'm got my headphones in, listening to the whole conversation, and then that hearing the conversation and not hearing the full story or hearing a side of it. It's like, oh, I don't like mom. I don't like mommy because she did that. I don't like daddy because she did that.
Wow.
And it's like, yes. And then after getting into arguments, like a parent like going to the kid to try to make the other parent look bad.
Ooh.
That's another thing. Because it's like, even with that, like, why are you telling your child that?
They shouldn't even be exposed to that.
Yes. And if that's the case, at least both of y'all have a conversation.
At the same time, let's everybody sit down. Yes.
Don't just like go and be like, oh yeah, like just talking. It's like, can't do that. If you want your child to have a good relationship with you, let alone, because they can get older and think about the situation randomly and be like, that was weird. I don't like my dad anymore.
Woo.
And it's like, you can't.
And I honestly don't think us as parents even think that far.
Nah.
We be in the moment, we be in our own feelings, and we're not taking accountability for the fact that we chose to create children. Your life is not your own once you have children. So you have to be mindful of your mindset. You have to be mindful of your behavior. You have to be mindful of your habits. You have to be mindful of your pride, your emotions, your ego, because you now have little children who are clocking you. And you could traumatize them. You can put them in a strenuous environment. They can feel neglect. They can become depressed. And then ultimately they can end up not liking you or acting like you. Then we have a repeat problem. Because then as soon as they get married, guess what they're going to be doing? Acting like you. So guess what they're going to do to their kids? The same thing. So as parents, it's important for us to understand that it is our repeated behavior that causes generational curses. Generational curses come from repeated behavior. Before we get out of here, I want you to give encouragement to all of the kids out there on how to stay sane as they go through these different things. What would you encourage them to do?
I don't even know. I would probably say, I don't know, just try to like have a conversation, and if that doesn't work out, maybe try to get your grandparents to talk to them or something. Because
So if they feel like, if they try to talk to their parents, and let's say their parents fuss at them and call them disrespectful, you think they should try to talk to their grandparents and say, hey, I try to talk to my mom, I try to talk to my dad.
can you talk to them?
Yeah.
Because it's like, obviously, or like maybe there could be something there. So maybe fixing that could be able to help fix.
So if the grandparent fixes something with their child, then their child maybe can fix the thing with you.
That's what I think. That's all I can say. Because all I know is some things can go overboard if you just try to speak in any way. Wow. So
If you feel that you have parents that may not accept you having a voice, then try to talk to the grandparents. That's pretty solid advice.
try to talk to the grandparents. And if that don't work, well, don't get a therapist.
And that's the thing, like somebody that's 6 years old, somebody that's 9 years old, somebody that's 13 years old, they don't have access to these things on their own because they're not an adult.
Right.
So sometimes all they have is their friends or holding it in. And that's the unfair part about it. They can't just call, they can't just spend money to get a therapist. The things that adults can do, children can't do. And because they don't have access to those things, parents, we got to be more careful.
Which I don't think parents understand, honestly. Because that's really, honestly and truthfully, when you put your child in that type of environment, that's what makes them do things like, that's what makes people take their own life. That's what makes people run away. That's what make people like call the cops or something, just do something crazy. And even when they try to act out and say they act bad in school, that's them wanting attention, not even just wanting them to be bad. It's just like, can someone notice me, or like someone so that they care? Wow. Because it's like, it just seems like no one notices me or no one cares. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Parents, we got to do better.
Yeah.
We have to do better. Hearing my daughter talk is really showing me that we may have to switch it up. We may have to switch our styles up. We may have to switch our approach up so that we can have real relationships with our children, reciprocal relationships, that being heard is both ways, being respected is both ways, being seen is both ways. And then when it's time to be a parent, it is loved and embraced because it doesn't feel like slavery.
Right. Right.
Now I'm happy to do what you asked me to do. I'm happy to go where you want me to go. I trust your instruction because it's like, I know you love me. So if you tell me to do something I don't understand, I'm actually willing to do it because you have a track record of showing me that I can trust you.
Right.
All right. You want to close?
I guess so.
Yeah.
This is very fun.
Yeah.
This is very fun. I guess I've been Nay, and this has been.
You don't even have to say my
Right.
name. This your place.
Yeah, this is. My
I'm
dad.
just a guest. Yes, I'm dad in this situation.
Yes.
So we're going to see y'all in the next episode.
Yes.
Peace.